Prime Minister Narendra Modi has sent out his toughest message yet to Pakistan from the SCO summit stage. Prime Minister Modi, while speaking to world leaders at the SCO summit, urged nations to come together and fight against terror. In his biggest attack on Pakistan, PM Modi said those who sponsor terror should not be shielded, and all this in presence of Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier had ignored Imran Khan at a photo opportunity session. This comes a day after he refused to exchange pleasantries with the Pakistani Prime Minister during the informal dinner. Prime Minister Modi was seated 3 seats away from Imran Khan and refused to shake hands or acknowledge the Pakistan Prime Minister. Not only did he refuse to meet Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and chose not to fly over Pakistani airspace to Bishkek, after India's clear snub, Pakistan is attempting damage control. Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said his country will not run after India for talks, but will wait whenever India is ready for dialogue. The Pakistan Prime Minister also claimed that Indian government was still in the election hangover and has only responded to their offer of peace with aggression.
T for Terrorism Free Society. पिछले रविवार श्रीलंका की अपनी यात्रा के दौरान मैं सेंट एंटनी में के चर्च गया था। वहां मुझे आतंकवाद के उस घिनौने चेहरे का स्मरण हुआ जो हर कहीं कभी भी प्रकट होकर रोज मासूमों की जान लेता है। इस खतरे से निपटने के लिए सभी मानवतावादी ताकतों को अपने अपने संकीर्ण दायरे से निकलकर एकजुट हो जाना चाहिए। आतंकवाद को प्रोत्साहन, समर्थन और वित्त प्रदान करने वाले राष्ट्रों को जिम्मेदार ठहराना जरूरी है। एससीओ सदस्यों को आतंकवाद का सफाया करने के लिए एससीओ रेड्स के तहत सहयोग की पूरी क्षमता का इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए। भारत आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर के सम्मेलन का आह्वान करता है।
Geeta Mohan, Foreign Affairs Editor, India Today, joins us live from Bishkek for more on this story. Geeta, very strong worded statement there by the Prime Minister. Clear attack on Pakistan without naming the Pakistani side. What is the response?
Well, the fact that Pakistani Prime Minister also tried to speak about state sponsorship of terrorism and tried to raise the issues, but the fact is that, Ankit, over here, when the world leaders are meeting, the kind of cooperation that we're seeing today with various countries coming in support for India and looking at how India has been victimized at the hands of Pakistan using terrorism as an instrument of state policy is quite evident. So whatever Pakistan tries to say as a counter will not be good enough, because there is a reason why China also had to finally lift that hold, the hold on Masood Azhar's ban, and had to go ahead and ban Masood Azhar. Pakistan is in a very, very difficult position right now. They really need to show some credible action on the ground to not get into trouble with the FATF, and they were hoping that all the noise that they were making with the peace overtures for talks with India would help their case over here. But even with China in the bilaterals, Ankit, this is for the first time that India was not raising the issue of Pakistan as a concern. Rather, the strategic partners that India and China have become, they discussed the issue of Pakistan, wherein India very, very clearly presented its case, saying that talks and terror cannot go together, and the all-weather friend of China will have to understand that. We know that there was an interview that Imran Khan gave to a Russian agency before coming to Bishkek, talking about peace again. But the fact is that last night clearly sent out a message by India to Pakistan that unless and until you're held accountable for what you're doing in India, for what you're doing in the valley, there can be no forward movement. So very strong statement. Narendra Modi trying to empower RATS, which is an anti-terror structure within the SCO forum, saying that this is the forum. If it can't be done at an international level or that of the United Nations or other forums, then this is the forum wherein those countries in this grouping that sponsor terrorism should be held responsible.
Okay. In fact, Let me also bring in at this point of time Ashok Sajanhar, former diplomat, joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much. Your first, if I may, ask you to put this in perspective for us, how do you think from the SCO platform, when the Prime Minister, without naming Pakistan, speaks about the nations which are accountable for terror, where terror is emanating, should be held accountable? What is how are the members and the world looking at this message, sir?
Prime Minister has been raising the issue of terror on all the multilateral, global, international fora that he has been participating. Whether it is G20, whether it is BRICS or now SCO, because, what the Prime Minister said when he was in Maldives is that it is not, any specific country-related issue. It is a challenge to the whole humanity. It's a challenge to civilization. It is the whole global community will have to get together to fight this. So I see it in this context, that without mentioning Pakistan, and it is all the indicators are as far as Pakistan is concerned. If you take the discussion with the Chinese president yesterday, when the Chinese president would have raised it with the Prime Minister Modi, I think two very clear messages there. Number one is a message to China, that China has no role as far as this India-Pakistan issue is concerned, the issue of terrorism, etc., to mediate on any of these issues. This is a bilateral issue which we will settle through negotiation. And number two, that the responsibility rests squarely on the shoulders of Pakistan to create the right environment by taking some concrete steps, some credible steps to deal with terrorism, and that it has not done so far. Until Pakistan does that, there is no question of having any dialogue or conversation or whatever, composite dialogue or any formal talks with Pakistan.
Okay,
and
thank you, sir. Let me also
has...
bring in at this point of time Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, joining us on the broadcast. Sir, Mr. Sareen, the Prime Minister once again giving out a very strong message. But for a country like Pakistan, for a Prime Minister like Imran Khan, who in fact yesterday even forgot the protocol when the world leaders were assembling for dinner, do you think that it makes any difference? Can the world community, including China, bring Pakistan to take some strong action on the ground against terror?
So, Ankit, here is the thing. It's not anybody who thinks that just merely a speech on an international forum will be enough to make the Pakistanis see the light of the day. I think that would be grossly unrealistic. And I don't think even the Prime Minister expects that to happen. So what is happening is that we are now adopting a multi-pronged approach. But clearly from the point of view of what is happening currently, the Prime Minister is using every forum to highlight this issue. And as the previous speaker said, that, without naming Pakistan, without, upsetting the decorum of the SCO format, in which you don't, take pot shots at each other or name them. But it was very clear what he was alluding to. So he uses every forum to build up an international opinion on this whole issue and bring people on the same table as India to fight against the menace of terrorism. At the same time, I think the Modi government has also started putting in place other measures which both kinetic and non-kinetic, which they need to take to get rid of the menace of terrorism. So I don't think it is just the speech alone, but everything else which is also happening on the side, which is going to probably...
Mr. Sareen, may I request you to stay on with me? Because Kamar Chima, strategic affairs expert from Pakistan, is also joining us. Thank you so much, Mr. Chima, for speaking to us. Is Pakistan listening to the message which is being conveyed to Pakistan time and again from the global forum as well? If there is even a hint of normalcy or talks between India and Pakistan, that would only happen, sir, once Pakistan takes concrete action.
Well, I think Pakistan and India are facing the same issue. The problem is that India is calling the freedom struggle equal to terrorism, and we are fighting the hardcore terrorists which are sponsored by Afghanistan and India. So right now, Pakistan and India are facing the same issue, but I think the nature of the terrorism of both the countries is different, and I think the forum is equally right that Pakistan...
Till when would you try to hoodwink the entire world with all this good terrorists, bad terrorists, freedom struggle, nature of terrorism? Then we should talk about the nature of freedom struggle in Balochistan, in the Pashtuns as well. Shouldn't we talk about the nature of freedom struggle there as well, sir?
The problem is that Balochistan is not having any resolutions coming from the United Nations Security Council, and it is not a disputed zone as per the international law. But the problem with India is that Kashmir is a disputed zone as per the UN Security Council resolution, to which India has agreed and agreed.
The same UN Security Council resolution also says that the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which you call Azad Kashmir, you should remove your army from there. If anything has to happen, there are other parts of the resolution which, Mr. Cheema, you very conveniently do not want to highlight, or possibly you have forgotten. May I request you to stay on with me? We also have Mr. Sushant Sareen, because, sir, it's not only India, but your Prime Minister is embarrassing your country on a global stage. If being named and shamed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the SCO wasn't enough, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan further embarrassed his country by sitting and not following the protocol during the opening ceremony of the summit at Bishkek. Imran Khan broke the diplomatic protocol. He kept sitting while every other head of the state was standing up to welcome the entering head of the states. After realizing he was perhaps the only one seated, he stood briefly, and then I don't know what happened to Mr. Khan. He sat down again. Kamar Cheema, like seriously, diplomatic protocols are not being followed by your Prime Minister, sir. Are you now going, I mean, isn't it an embarrassment for your entire country? I've been seeing Twitter, a lot of people from Pakistan are in fact laughing and are embarrassed. Cheema Saab, I completely understand that's a very difficult question to ask any citizen of a country whose Prime Minister embarrasses them on a global forum. Mr. Cheema, very quick to disconnect the phone there. But I would just like our viewers to watch it once more. That's the Pakistan Prime Minister. Comes, sits. Look what is happening all around him. All the other heads of state, senior dignitaries, everybody is standing because there is a protocol that all the member states, their heads are in fact coming one by one. He sits again. And in the end, in fact, we've been told that he was specifically told to get up till the time all the head of the states are not in that informal dinner and concert. Sushant Sareen with us. Mr. Sareen, I asked this embarrassing question to Mr. Kamar Cheema, and he quickly disconnected the phone. But, you know, Imran Khan, protocol after protocol, he breaks, talks, off his hat about peace initiatives, so on and so forth. How does one take him seriously, sir?
You don't take him seriously. In fact, that is what Prime Minister Modi seems to have indicated with the kind of rebuff he has given to the Pakistanis, that he doesn't take him seriously. And see, one thing is that Imran Khan is a terrible, terrible advertisement for British education system. You know, the fact that he boasts about his education in Britain, Oxford, Cambridge, or whatever. I don't know what he studied out there, whether he even studied anything at all, or just emerged as a cricketer from there. But, you know, he's a terrible advertisement. His accent might be right, and people in, our part of the world think that if your accent is right, you probably have some knowledge as well, but clearly he doesn't. The way he's managing his own country, which is, frankly speaking, I wish him upon Pakistan. But other than that, I think, the fact that he's essentially a puppet is the reason why nobody in India would really take this guy seriously at all.
Right.
And the thing is that what the government of India now needs to do is actually double down on the policy which it has started building up versus on Pakistan from around 2016, early 2017 onwards.
Right,
and
right.
that is the policy which might lead to some positive results rather than, one step forward, two steps back kind
Absolutely.
of a thing.
Consistency on part of the government of India. And as you were saying, Imran Khan only gets his accent right, his intent. I don't know what that intent is. It doesn't at this point of time seem to be working even for the betterment of Pakistan, leave alone India's interests. Thank you so much, Sushant, Sareen, for joining me on this broadcast. Also, thanks to all our other guests and my colleague Geeta Mohan. Now, moving on back home and shifting focus to Bengal.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.